Hey, what's up everyone? John here from TestPrepInsight.com, and today I'm going to be reviewing the GMAT prep course from Princeton Review. I'm going to break down how this course works, what it comes with, the cost comparison, and of course my thoughts on whether I think it's worth it and who it might be best for. So if you're ready, we've got a lot to cover. Let's hit it. Alright, so to kick things off, I just want to mention up front here that since I'll just be sort of limited to talking about the major highlights and lowlights in this video, if you find you need more detail at any point, you can always check out our full detailed written review over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight Princeton Review GMAT Review. It's a quick way to find it. Alright, so let's kick this review off with a quick price comparison. That way you can get a feel for the course formats that Princeton offers and how this course compares to other GMAT prep providers. And the short story is that Princeton has 3 different options. They've got a self-paced course which runs for around $800, a fundamentals course that runs for $1,400, and their GMAT 700 Plus format that runs for around $2,000. So, stacking Princeton Review up against competitors, they're right in line with Manhattan Prep and Testmasters, but more expensive than budget providers like Magoosh, Target Test Prep, and eGMAT. They're squarely in the middle of that more expensive tier of GMAT courses. Though I would just note that Princeton does frequently run sales and special promotions, and a lot of times you can find their packages on sale, so be sure to check the description below before buying. I'll do my best to keep that description down below the video screen updated with the most current discount codes that might be out there. Maybe save yourself some coin if you decide to go with them. In my experience, you can usually save $100 on their self-paced and fundamentals courses and $250 or more on that 700 Plus course. And on the point of that 700 Plus course, I just want to quickly touch on that. Yes, Princeton does offer a package that guarantees you'll get a score of 700 or better, which is something other prep providers aren't really willing to do, though I would just note to watch out for the minimum starting score thresholds. There are some fairly strict starting requirements to qualify for that promise. I'll link those down below in the description if you want to check that out. Okay, so with that quick price comparison out of the way, let's break down the features of the Princeton Review GMAT course and how it works before moving into my thoughts. And let's start with a high-level look at organization. So, the Princeton Review GMAT coursework is broken out into 4 sections, approximately tracking the sections of the GMAT. You've got a section for IR, quant, verbal, and a section for exam strategies. And within each of these overarching sections, you've got a number of learning modules to work through. In terms of quantity, there are just tons of these modules to complete. As you scroll through the modules under each section, it just keeps going and going and going. Each learning module covers a narrow subtopic tested on the GMAT, like coordinate geometry and standard deviation. And here's how each learning module works. You start with the quick review session before diving into the full lesson, which is then followed by an adaptive drill. So, quick review, lesson, exercises. And let's break down each of those elements. The quick review is basically a short primer lesson that precedes the full lesson. These quick reviews provide little snippets of information meant to serve as quick hit refreshers on a topic, so you don't have to dive in head first if you haven't seen that topic in a while. Then you move into the main lesson, which I would describe as a gated module. You open the lesson, it pops out into a standalone box in your browser, and you work through a series of videos, exercises, and drills. You watch a video lesson, then you can move on to a series of practice problems. You complete those, then you move into an ordering drill. You complete that, then another video lesson, then you move into some true-false questions, etc., etc. It's actually a pretty cool integrated approach to teaching that I'll talk about more here in a minute. And finally, you wrap up with an adaptive drill. And that's more or less exactly what it sounds like. A series of practice problems that adapt your performance just like the real GMAT. The final section is intended to drive home what you just learned and really help it sink in. And that's about it. Finish all the modules in a section, move on to the next. And wrapped around this primary set of coursework, you also get access to a drill builder tool which allows you to build custom adaptive quizzes filtered down by a number of factors, full-length practice tests which you can take at any time, a course syllabus in the form of a schedule, hard copy prep books, and a few other resources like performance analytics. But of course, that really only describes the self-paced on-demand course. If you opt for Princeton's GMAT Fundamentals course or the 700 Plus course, you also get live online classes, either 27 or 47 hours worth depending on which package you go in. And if you go with one of those packages, the classes actually become the basis of your coursework, not those gated modules. Those online lessons will still be there for you if you want to work them, but your focus will instead be on the live classes. And in short, the classes basically follow the material in those lesson modules, but with much greater depth. The instructors add a ton of detail and side tips and slow things down to work sample problems, answer questions, and work things out on the whiteboard. And that's pretty much it in terms of how the Princeton Review GMAT course works. And I know I covered that really fast, so if you do want to see a more detailed breakdown of exactly how this course plays out, make sure to check out that full detailed review that I mentioned. I'll have it linked down below in the description. I have more detail over there so you can get a better feel for what to expect. And By the way, if I could just say, we work really hard to produce honest and helpful reviews, all totally free. So if Princeton does end up being the right choice for you, we'd really appreciate it if you'd use those links listed down below in the description. That's how you can support our channel, and it allows us to keep creating these types of helpful review videos. And if it turns out the Princeton review isn't the right match for you, it's no problem at all. I just want to make sure that you get matched up with the right prep course, and we have a ton of other helpful review videos that you can check out. Okay, so now that I've covered how the Princeton Review course works, the features you get, and pricing, let's get into what I like and what I don't like about Princeton's GMAT course, and whether I think it's worth it. And let's start with the things that I really like. And the first course highlight for me is the course design. I love this structure that Princeton Review has created with these gated learning modules. It's really streamlined and efficient. They smartly organize the material in each learning module so you progress from learning the basics, to watching examples, to testing your knowledge with drills, to applying them in practice with real problems. And when combined with this really cool kind of gated approach, it's really effective. All right, my second pro is the problem explanations. I think Princeton Review has done a really nice job with their answer solutions. At the end of the day, reviewing problems is one of the most effective means of learning and prepping for the GMAT. And whether you're reviewing problems you missed in your adaptive drills, quizzes from the drill builder, or full-length practice tests, Princeton Review's problem explanations are rock solid. They strike a really nice balance of detail and conciseness and are written in pretty plain English, making them very digestible. Then third up, I have the live classes. Basically, I was a big fan of Princeton's live GMAT classes. I think because Princeton Review has been at it for so long, they've really got these classes down. They know exactly what material to cover, in what order, and how much time to give each topic. In short, the classes are organized, efficient, and the instructors do a great job of teaching the material and keeping everyone on track. All right, so last up here, number 4 for me are Princeton's practice exams. For one, Princeton Review provides 10 full-length practice tests, which is more than pretty much any other prep provider. And for 2, I thought these mock tests did an awesome job closely replicating the real GMAT. Just like the real exam, Princeton's exams get harder or easier based on your performance, and I found their adaptive algorithm to be spot on. So if you're the type of student that learns best by doing, Princeton Review has the definite leg up here. Okay, so that covers the things that I like. Now let's get to the things I don't necessarily like. But before I get to that, I should mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free prep course to one lucky person. It's super simple to enter. Everyone out there is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description, but just know, it takes like 10 seconds to enter, and hey, you never know, you could win a totally free Princeton Review course. Anyway, the negatives, and I have 3 of them with Princeton Review. Starting with the fact that I honestly feel like there's almost too much study material in this package. Between the online modules, video lessons, drill builder, prep book, full-length practice tests, and live classes, if you go with one of those packages, it is simply a lot to take in. Other GMAT companies like Magoosh and Target Test Prep, for example, tend to keep things more streamlined and simple with just on-demand digital content. This course, though, is just so comprehensive it borders on too much, so do keep that in mind if you already have a jam-packed schedule. Anyway, my second negative is the video lesson delivery. Basically, the video lessons in the learning modules are good in terms of content, but the format isn't great. They're just fairly basic slideshow-style videos with instructor voiceover and notes on the slides. They move slow, they aren't really dynamic, and even the audio sometimes sounds a little tinny. I mean, it's not terrible, but I just personally like more engagement and like to see my instructor on screen so I can read their nonverbal communication cues. Of all the online content with this package, the video lesson delivery is definitely the weakest aspect. And lastly, my final negative is how Princeton Review uses GMAT prep books. Basically, rather than providing their very own GMAT prep book with this course, they instead leverage GMAC's resources and give you a copy of the GMAT official guide from GMAC. Now, don't get me wrong, this text is the authority in the space and provides awesome GMAT questions and strategies from the makers of the GMAT, but my beef is that it's just not well integrated into the coursework. It just sort of feels like an afterthought. Sort of like Princeton Review realized that they needed to provide a prep book as a backstop to the classes and online content, and just kick this in with the package. Bottom line, I love the prep book itself, I just wish it was a little more thoughtfully integrated into the course. But anyway, that about covers the detail in this review, so let's get to my final verdict. Should you go with Princeton Review for your GMAT prep? Well, personally, I feel like Princeton Review is a fantastic course for the money and a very safe choice. When you look at all the factors that truly matter, design and execution of online study material, live classes, realism of practice questions, and the usability of problem explanations, they get very high marks across the board. So if you're leaning towards Princeton Review, I would not hesitate to go with them. I found their course to be effective, and they are one of my highest rated prep packages. And that's all I've got for you. I hope this video was helpful and you learned a little something. If so, make sure to return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and dropping us a quick comment below. That'd be really appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full detailed written review that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website, testprepinsight.com, or check out the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel. We have a ton of great content out there. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll catch you in the next one.